Lots of fun coming your way this weekend on U62.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
There?
No.
Yep, I hear you.
There we go.
Hey.
Are we good now?
Now we're good.
Yeah, we've still got our music intro running, though.
I'm wearing my sunglasses at night. So good morning,
I think
Steve.
we're good.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, I
We
hear
are.
me. I hear you.
Let me see what's going on over here. Test. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
much better now.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We got a neat show planned today. We're going to talk about the death penalty.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you and I, Jeffrey, I know we've gone round and round on this.
That
okay?
we have.
And I firmly used to say that, you have to be 100% correct before you do that, okay? Before you take somebody's life.
Right. Me, not so much.
Right. You, as long as you get up to the 51 percentile, you're okay, right?
There's plenty of time for appeals.
But, in thinking about that, okay, and going through the appellate process and everything else, Charlie Manson, okay? Now, I'm 100% right there.
And we're doing the world a service by having him still around.
That's sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
No, his sentence, it was commuted. He doesn't. He's not going to get killed, right?
Right.
Sirhan.
Yep.
Not going to be. All these people that commit terrible, heinous crimes, and yet here in our state in California, we've got 713 people on death row right now.
They'll die of old age in there.
That they will. Now, if we can find some in California, if we can find some drugs that the state Supreme Court would approve, or manufacture that could make more of this drug, because California does have the death penalty,
right.
then we'll start offing people.
I was saying earlier, why don't we just get a hold of Conrad Murray?
And have him do it?
Well, he seems to be able to find stuff that kills people. So
Maybe Dr. Murray actually, during his 4-year prison sentence, which he'll get off in 2, maybe he could supervise that whole program. We can get him a job.
He's an expert.
We could get him a job. But, even if he does go to prison, Dr. Murray, by the way, he still has a claim against the Jackson estate. At law, he does. Because they haven't paid out his contract, which even by death was not cancelable. So can you imagine that? So he goes to prison and still gets a check for $150,000 a month.
Like we were talking yesterday, you got to read the fine print before you put your name on any kind of contract.
Yeah, well, he did a good job.
Yeah, I guess he did.
I want to bring on a guest, so let's see how we could do this. We've got some headphones up there.
We do.
Okay?
We do.
And I'm gonna make an introduction on the air right now because Angelina, by the way, that's Jeffrey, my co-host, and Jeffrey,
Pleasure
Angelina.
to meet you. Hi.
Okay, and you've got a microphone right in front of you. Okay, and I'm bringing on a guest, a friend, and a colleague, Angelina Urquhart, who I work with as well, and we've been talking about the death penalty. Angelina and I kind of debate a lot of different kind of weird things.
Yes, we do.
And now, I know, Angelina, that you are absolutely not in favor of the death penalty.
Definitely not.
Okay, what about Charlie Manson?
It doesn't matter who the criminal is and what the offense is. It's simply a matter of the level of error that's not acceptable. Even one person that's put to death mistakenly is not worth the death penalty for me.
Okay, but there's no error in Charlie Manson's situation, right?
Yeah, there's no error with Charlie Manson.
Okay.
You're right. However, the system is not going to only choose. I don't get to pick and choose. Okay, do Charlie and not do this one because I don't believe that this one is concrete in the error margin. I don't get to pick and choose that. So I'd rather just have you sit in jail for the rest of your life. I don't have a problem with that, and it's cheaper. So I don't get what the bottom line is. If it's revenge, it's not for us to revenge anybody by death. That's not really what we're supposed to be doing.
Well, but they go through they've got an appellate process.
It's broken too. Come on, Steve. I mean, the justice system is set up and run by the same people that's in this room that's imperfect. So we can't perfectly try someone, perfectly make a judgment, and perfectly execute. We just can't. So let's not.
But we take a lot of risks in life. Just for convenience, we drive around in a car.
Yeah.
Not about public safety.
Yeah.
Not about the safety of others. Just for convenience, we do. And there's a whole lot more people killed every year because of car accidents. You're taking your chance out there every day. It very well happened that you plow down a whole bunch of school
kids. So am I
kids.
taking my chance every day walking down the street that a policeman doesn't pick me up and accuse me of murder and want to execute me for that?
What do you think the odds are of that?
I don't know. I don't want to gamble it. I don't want that risk to be anybody's.
But you're taking a risk with people's lives when you get in the car.
I get that.
For your convenience.
Yeah, I get that. But I don't want to take... You're equating that? How can you equate that?
I am.
How can you equate that?
We're taking a risk for public safety.
Okay.
That may be somebody, and it's extremely rare. You have to admit that
but
somebody
even if I run somebody over, supposedly with our system, I'm going to pay whatever the price is that I'm supposed to pay. If I go to jail for 4 years, like Conrad Murray probably will get, or whatever it is, that I'll pay my price doing it that way. But to put somebody to death, what's the ultimate gain? The person that
we have a jerk out of this world that's not going to kill anybody in prison because that happens. It's not going to hurt guards. There's no reason for these people to exist.
I do understand.
I mean, their life isn't worth more than the victim's life.
No, they're not. No, they're definitely not. And I don't have a problem with the absolute. You understand what I'm saying? I have a problem with the mistake. I have a problem with the one person that's put to death that actually was innocent.
Do we have any statistics on people that...
I'm sure we do. And I actually was looking it up yesterday, and I was thinking, because Steve and I had spoke about, like, the ratio, black and white. 42%, I think, on death row is black versus 44%. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting because I would have thought that it would be a little bit more skewed. But then it is skewed because I looked at the census, and African Americans make up 13% of the nation versus 72% of Caucasian. However, when I was looking into that, I just had to put it down because it really doesn't matter to me what the color line is. It doesn't matter anything other than if someone's on death row mistakenly, it's a mistake that we shouldn't allow.
Right.
And no one should be put to death in error. Period. And we do, even if we looked up the statistics and you found 5 people, and it's more than 5 people that were put to death and that were found actually innocent.
Well, I would want to see actual statistics on that.
So are you you're in the position of thinking that nobody's put to death that's innocent?
I'm not saying that, but I would want concrete numbers before.
Okay, let me just ask you: if it's just one person, is that risk not too great for you?
No.
What if it was your brother?
Oh no, we've had this conversation.
Yeah. So what if it's your brother, your father?
If he did it?
No, if he didn't do it. No, I'm saying if he didn't do it.
Then I'd go up there and fight for him in the courts. But that's the way the system is.
But they lose, and they go to death, and they're executed anyway.
And so, I don't see how. I got a quote from Stalin. It fits right in with
Stalin.
this.
Stalin.
Stalin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, well, if the anti-death penalty lean around the left end of the political spectrum, so why not?
Okay,
one of the
now-
godfathers of the left end of the.
You know, I up until recently, okay, I clearly said that you had to be 100% sure. All right, and you know, and I joke because Jeffrey's level of tolerance is if you're in the 51 percentile, that's it.
That's
it.
That's
you
a
know.
little extreme, but
Okay. You know, and I do know that out of 100 people that are executed, there may be someone that should not have been. Maybe it's determined afterwards that they hadn't committed the crime. I think that that's a factor I can live with.
If it's not someone you know.
Oh, even if it were.
Well,
No, come on.
but
You would not be able to sit well if it was a family member or someone that you knew was on death on the
You
death
don't know
row.
my family members. But you don't know my,
No, come on.
He's
There's
not
no
kidding
way.
about that one either.
There's no way. There's no way that would sit well. I mean, I don't know anybody that's up for the death penalty, but I just can't sit with the idea of someone making a mistake. Period.
Well, okay. On that, and hang on, because I've got some interesting statistics, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we got to take a break, all
Yes.
right? So we can pay for the show.
yeah, so you're listening to
Come right back.
avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380, and we'll catch you back in just a minute.
This is
we don't.
Hey guys, remember when you were 18 with boundless energy and the stamina to do anything you wanted, anytime? Wish you could relive your glory days and have the testosterone of your teenage years with the experience and skill you have today? Now you can with Progene Daily Complex.
This is Dr. Todd Karen from the American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicine. Testosterone levels decrease in men after the age of 20. It's a major cause of the aging process. The effects include lack of energy, decrease in muscle mass, increasing belly fat, and decreased sexual performance, all of which impact self-esteem, confidence, and most importantly, overall quality of life.
Kick your drive back into high gear with Progene. Call 800-206-9507 today to get a full month absolutely free. No injections, no prescription needed. Progene is an all-natural herbal supplement that helps men naturally produce more testosterone. Claim your free month supply now by calling 800-206-9507. That's 800-206-9507. Again, 800-206-9507. Shipping and processing fees apply.
We're the sales team of High Desert Broadcasting.
And if you're looking for a career that's rewarding and allows the privilege to help local businesses grow, you should consider working in radio.
And if you're going to get your start in radio, it only makes sense that you start with the best.
High Desert Broadcasting.
At High Desert Broadcasting, we're not only successful because of the individuals on our team, we're successful because we have a standard of excellence when it comes to our clients.
That's because we underpromise and overdeliver, which is why our clients trust our expertise and consider us as a valuable resource.
And with 7 stations, including Spanish, we speak to every possible demographic, which translates to new customers for our clients. If you'd like to join the High Desert Broadcasting team, call 947-3107. That's 947-3107.
Sales experience is a plus, but not necessary. We're just looking to add a few motivated and energetic people that love helping others to our awesome team. If that's you, apply online at highdesertbroadcasting.com or call 947-3107.
That's 947-3107. And see why we love working in radio.
High Desert Broadcasting, an equal opportunity employer.
And welcome back to avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380. This is Jeff.
And I am Steve, and we've got a guest, Angelina. Say hi.
Hello there.
Okay, we're talking about the death penalty. I've got some very interesting statistics here, okay?
All right.
Of the people in California that are on death row. And I found this really interesting, okay? 36% of them are white, 35% are black, okay? 22% are Hispanic. I found it very interesting that the numbers were really level between
it's
black
not
and
level,
white.
Steve. It's really not level, because
what do you mean?
You also have to look at the Census Bureau and find out how many Caucasians are in the state versus African Americans. If you put that on the table, then it actually shows that it's not level. It's not like there's 100 white people, 100 black people, and there's 13 black people on death row and 14 white people on death row. There's not. There's probably, I mean, I don't have the numbers. You guys have your iPads here. So you can look up how many Caucasian versus African Americans are in California, and you'd see that it is skewed. But it doesn't matter. I don't even care about. I mean, we already know racism is alive and well. I mean, it just does what it does.
Well, I'm all for settling it up. Let's get more Caucasians in there.
No, that's not the point. That's
equal
not the
representation. I'm fine with that. I couldn't have been more happy with that guy in Texas. I wish they could have killed him 10 times, each time worse than the last.
No.
It doesn't factor into here.
No. Listen, you guys have to figure out what's the ultimate goal. Do you want revenge? Is that what you're aiming for?
No, I want these creeps off the face of the earth.
But what
so
if
they don't
they're
hurt
not
anybody
a creep?
else?
What if it's a mistake?
How often does that happen? How often does that happen?
It doesn't matter how often. This is someone's father. This is someone's mother. Mm-hmm. This is someone's loved one. Mm-hmm. And that justifies it if it's a mistake?
What if it's not a mistake?
Yeah.
I grew up in Benedict Canyon, okay? And after Sharon Tate was killed, within hours, a day, I was at the house, okay? I saw the blood. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw everything, okay? Wow. I was just a little kid. There's no mistake with Charlie Manson. Okay?
I get that.
There's no mistake with Sirhan Sirhan.
I get that.
Okay?
Listen, you guys are you're overlapping some. You're talking apples and oranges, because I have no problem with the criminal paying the price. Okay. I have a problem that you guys don't really want to deal with. I have a problem with the innocent person being put to death because of wrongful testimonies, because of corrupt judges, because of overly zealous prosecutors, because of incorrect evidence. I'm talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about people that are put to death that don't have the millions of dollars to find the correct collaborating scientific evidence that would get them off of death row. I'm talking about people that are put to death without DNA.
According to Oregon District Attorney Josh Markey,
here we go.
All right. Even according to Barry Scheck's Innocence Project, there have been only 174 DNA exonerations for all crimes.
Wow,
more than 90% of which were not murder, let alone death penalty cases. In fact, the number of inmates taken off death row specifically because of DNA cleared them is 5.
Wow.
In addition to 9 inmates who were once on death row and eventually fully exonerated by DNA evidence.
Wow.
Some might say 14 or 140. It doesn't make a difference. It makes about as much sense as you being told you have a 1% mortality risk from a surgical procedure versus a 10% risk.
No, it makes a big difference. That's 14 people that shouldn't have been on death row.
Versus how many that should.
Who cares?
I do.
Just keep them in jail for the rest of their life. Because I'd rather have you make a mistake and incarcerate somebody for the rest of their life and let them live than you kill them. At least give them time to get the money up for DNA testing, to do something to change the minds.
Because we can warehouse all these people for all these years.
Well, we know that it costs more to execute them than it does to house them.
No, that's...
No, we know that. We know that.
Okay, so at $35,000 a year for 60 years versus 8 years.
You know what? I don't have the math. I can pull out my iPad too. However, we do know that it costs more to put them to death than it does to house them.
How can $35,000 a year? And that's a
Steve,
very...
Steve, didn't you read that?
Yeah, I did. Now, okay, question, Angelina. Somebody, crazy deranged idiot, does something terrible to one of your family members, your daughter, okay?
Yeah. Well, you know she gets on my nerves a lot, so I don't know. You should probably say my grandchild.
Hey.
Okay.
See, we got something in common.
To a family member. No, Jeffrey, I can attest that you've got one up on her.
Okay.
When it comes to that.
Okay.
Okay. And they go through the entire process. Obviously, they're arrested. They're found guilty. There's enough evidence there. Okay. Even DNA. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Now what?
Well, this is my own thing. My thing is, if I see you on the street and I know it's you, I have the opportunity and the privilege to take you out, if that's what I choose to do. I don't believe that society as a whole is helping the community and helping humans, in their perfect form by executing this guy. I don't. I think that if I want to kill him, then, let me do what I got to do, and I'll pay the price that I have to pay whenever, I'm called to pay the piper. But I don't want the justice system to execute him. I'm surely not coming for that. I'm just not.
Yeah, but look at that. But you're saying that it's your decision if you see this person on the street that you can go ahead and take them out, which clearly would be against the law.
Yes,
okay?
It would be.
Clearly.
And
okay?
I don't want to be executed for it.
Now we're getting it somewhere. Okay.
No, if someone did something to my son, instantly, that'd be it. Okay.
Yeah, and I get that. I do
just
get that.
Give me an ice pick. I don't even need sodium.
I'd dare to throw that with my teeth.
I get that, and I would want to kill him myself too, especially if they did something to someone that I loved. And again, we're talking people that are rightfully due to be killed and pieces coming off their body versus the innocent ones, and that's who I'm speaking for right now. I'm speaking for the innocent 14 that we just went over a moment ago. I'm talking about those people that don't deserve to be executed because we want to be vengeful.
Okay, but you know what's terrible is these people, albeit a Charlie Manson or anybody that's sentenced to death or put on death row, get to, and even with all the evidence that convicts them, they then have the ability to completely exhaust the appellate process, okay, and just burn my money for absolutely no reason other than a stall tactic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
Because they're tired of marking the X's off on their calendar. And they'll burn millions of dollars going through an appellate process that they shouldn't have, only to be told that we're going to commute your sentence. And
there's always a possibility of that, and they could be out walking the streets.
Okay,
and see that you guys are just proving my point.
When they're dead.
You're just proving my point more actually, because we're talking about a system that's corrupt, imperfect, that if it can let a killer out, it can definitely execute an innocent man. So let's not think too highly of ourselves as a community and think that we have a perfect system that's going to only execute the righteously horrific people when we know that we don't have that system.
No, I'm not saying it's a perfect system. I'm saying I'm willing to take the risk.
No, you're willing because you're not on death row.
And I won't be.
You don't know that, huh?
I do know that.
No, you really don't.
I do.
People make a mistake, walk across the street, you help the police, they say, oh, let me have your fingerprints just for our database. All of a sudden, your name comes up as a hit. You done killed 9 people.
I'll give you $100 if I end up on death row. I promise you.
Look,
we got a deal right here and now.
You would so forget that bet, let me tell you. You would so forget. You'd say, I know this girl that don't like the death penalty, please.
Honey, send her a check. Yep.
Okay, there is but you know what? There is a margin of error. We're not perfect. The justice system is not perfect. However, okay, a lot of cases are stopped. There are cases in Georgia. Okay.
Please don't talk about the South. Are you kidding? Do you realize how many innocent people were executed?
Okay, but I will. There's a guy that's due for execution in February. That was due for execution in February of this year.
Yes.
Okay. His execution was stayed by the U.S. Supreme Court because they wanted to review the DNA evidence that they had against him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They took the time and they reviewed it.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course the stay was lifted, and and that was it. All done with him. But he went through the process, and they did make sure they went through their checks and balances to make sure what they did was right. Now, for instance, take Troy Anthony that was executed last month. Okay, down there.
A lot of question to that case.
I agree. A lot of questions on that, and personally, I think the questions beg that the U.S. Supreme Court should have stepped in and done something.
But they didn't, and he died, and it's just tough luck.
But
hopefully they got the right guy.
Okay, but I don't believe that the U.S. Supreme Court is, and I'm talking about the U.S. Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have a level of corruption there
that
would have affected that case.
Steve, unless you've got DNA evidence that the people in the Supreme Court are more perfect than you and I and our friend right here, There's no way, dude. They're just as imperfect as we are. They have just the same amount of agendas that we have. And you never know. You just never know. And they're imperfect. And depending on the day of the week, maybe a sympathetic justice wasn't in that day. I mean, you have no idea. Things get swept under the rug on a regular basis everywhere. I mean, the appellate U.S. Supreme Court, give me a break.
Well, I have to put the Supreme Court justices up on a pedestal.
Come on. So then I guess you put the president up on that pedestal too, right?
No,
he's perfect?
No, he's very far from perfect.
Okay, so then you need to put them right there with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to take a break. And we're going to come back. You're listening to avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380. Stand by and we'll be right back.
News Talk 1380.
CNN Radio, I'm Bill Caiaccio. President Obama is offering more help for college students drowning in debt. CNN's Christine Roman says one of the president's proposals he'll talk about in Denver today encourages graduates to combine loans.
This program allows current graduates who have a bunch of different kinds of federal loans to consolidate them together and for a limited time be able to get a lower interest rate. So the White House is hoping that'll allow people, freeing up some money for people who right now are buried under a bunch of student debt.
European leaders say they are making progress on a plan to solve Europe's debt and banking crisis. However, there are some last-minute delays that suggest significant disagreements. Ford says it turned a profit of $1.6 billion in the third quarter. It was less than the year before, but was the 9th straight quarterly profit. An inquest shows singer Amy Winehouse died of alcohol poisoning. The official verdict reached was death by misadventure. The most trusted name in news. This is CNN Radio.
Attention all California homeowners. Has your bank denied your home loan modification? Is your home in foreclosure, default, or is there a sale date pending? Let us stop your home foreclosure immediately. As a homeowner, you have legal rights that the banks won't tell you. For example, did you know that you can file a bankruptcy to stop foreclosure and sale? And you may still be able to pursue a loan modification, even with a bankruptcy. Did you know that a foreclosure can have severe tax consequences and a short sale may be your best solution? If your loan was issued between 2001 and 2007, you may be a victim of predatory lending. Let us help. Call Cannon Law Firm for a free consultation today. You might even qualify for up to $50,000 assistance with your mortgage. To stop foreclosure, call Cannon Law Firm at 661-952-3577. 661-952-3577. 661-952-3577. Or link to CannonLawFirm.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce B. Hailstone, the voice of real estate, hosting Let's Talk Real Estate right here on 1380 News Talk Radio. Come join us for an hour of local real estate experts sharing their thoughts in their areas of specialization, giving you the real estate wisdom you might just be looking for. Tune in every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to noon, and let's talk real estate.
And welcome back to AVNewscast.com on News Talk 1380. This is Jeff.
And this is Steve. And I was just saying during the break to Angelina that you know, the people that are on death row, I don't want to feed them. I don't want to house them anymore. I don't want to clothe them anymore. I just don't want to do it.
I'm so sorry.
I don't want it. I don't want them to crack a smile, to have an even mildly pleasant day when their victims are rotting in the earth.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. This guy, the guy in New York that cut in little pieces. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That poor little boy who now is claiming insanity.
Oh, he's got to be crazy.
Okay. But he's not crazy because he knew exactly what he was doing and he did it very methodically. Okay.
Well, according to the law,
premeditated and he planned it out.
That doesn't.
Right?
It was premeditated? I thought he just was walking by and he just snatched him.
What do you mean?
Are you talking about the
little Jewish boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had everything in place though to take care of it.
Oh, he was just going to snatch any kid.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And now he's okay. Now that guy, when he is found guilty and sentenced to, and I'm sorry that it didn't happen in Virginia or Ohio or Idaho or somewhere else, or Utah, where they still have the firing squad. I'd like to get over there and get some video of that. Put it up on the website. But
maniacs.
Okay. But I'm sorry it didn't happen in another state, and I wish it had never happened. But when he's found guilty and goes through the entire process and burns up more of my money, okay, and all his appeals are exhausted, then I think they should strap him in, put some screws to his head, flip the switch, and just burn him.
I get that.
Okay?
I get that.
So, okay.
I get that. But there's a list of other people that are on that same execution list that might be innocent that I'm not willing to.
Out of 100 of those type of people, okay, 98% are just rotten to the core.
I get it.
Okay,
yeah.
And 2% or 2 of those people are maybe iffy, but they went through the appellate process. They had their DNA, everything checked. It went to the United States Supreme Court. They went all the way through it. Maybe 2 people, maybe 1, maybe none. Okay?
Maybe none in that batch. Maybe 2 or maybe 5 in the next batch.
Maybe.
But we're better than that as human beings. We're better than that. We're not about just revenge. We're about justice, and we're about keeping the maniacs away from us. And we're about doing it the most efficient, cost-effective way, which would be keep their little monkey asses in cages. Oh, can I say asses?
We did.
Okay, sorry. Just keep them locked up, dude. You don't have to kill them. Don't be all blood happy. Just relax and let them just sit in the jail. It's not. Look, it's not bringing anybody back. There are definitely people that, I think I read a story yesterday. There was a guy, I forgot his name. I wish I would have remembered it, but I was like, I'm not going to do the statistics. But there was a man that was murdered. His sister's like, I'm not for the death penalty. I'm just not. It's not going to help me. It's not going to bring my brother back. It's just going to, the anguish of now yet another person being killed is just going to be on me. It's just, there's no purpose to it. If the purpose is to keep them off the streets so that we're safe, so do that.
Okay, and I've read some of those things where the families of victims are against the death penalty. Now they've decided that they're against it. There's a guy in Texas who's due to be executed at the end of next month. During 9/11, this guy went wacko, and he was a meth addict, and he grabbed a shotgun, walked into a 7-Eleven, pointed at the first guy that he saw, and blew his brains out. Then went to another gas station, did the same thing to somebody else.
No doubt a poor Sikh that had nothing to do with any of that.
Right, one guy survived. He's got no eyes, and this and this, and
oh, it was a hate crime. He went after Muslims.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's what he thought he was going after.
Okay, right, and it was wrong, but and now this victim who is blind and he's been maimed, and he's finding forgiveness and doesn't want him executed. And has actually written letters to Governor Perry to try to get him to stop the execution.
Totally get it.
Which, of course, Governor Perry's not going to do because he's way execution happy. He brings down 3 people a month.
It's just sick.
He's got the highest execution level in the country.
It's just sick.
Yeah, no, he does pretty good. Now, there's got to be a margin of error, and
we got to go and work with him all day.
I know, I work with him all day.
And we have to tolerate that margin of error.
No, we don't. We should be better than that margin of error. That's the reality.
And it's not
you
an
want
eye
justice.
for an eye.
You want justice. You want justice. That's what you guys want. You want the right people prosecuted. You want the right people jailed. So let's do that. And the margin of error would be an innocent person is in jail for the rest of their life, but they're alive. That's the margin of error.
Okay, so you're on death row.
No, they're just bag the death row, dude. Just put them in jail for the rest of their existence. And the margin of error that I'm willing to live with is that some poor sap is in jail for the rest of their life, but they're alive.
Okay, but in California, these people know that they can walk into a bank, shoot a teller between the eyes, and they're not going to get executed.
Dude, if it was a deterrent, we wouldn't have so many people on death row, really. I mean, these people lose their mind. I don't know if they take a poll and they make sure that they're in a state that's not going to execute them, or they see how long you can sit on death row before they actually get executed. But crime has not decreased because of the death penalty. That's another thing that I did read. And I'm sure you saw that article too, Steve.
Yes, I did. But it would decrease if they would televise them.
Come on. We have, what was it, Faces of Death? Everybody saw that, part 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And we saw, I saw the execution. You didn't see it. I could see it in your face. You didn't see it.
Faces of Death?
Yes.
Oh, who do you think you're talking to?
Did you see it?
He's way twisted.
Oh, yeah.
Angelina.
Okay,
you
so,
have no
I mean,
idea.
I was 6 years old watching that.
Everybody saw that. You know, everybody's seen it.
Dr. Francis B. Gross was the narrator.
Yeah, just some sick stuff there. I saw it. You know, I made the mistake in seeing the guy that was beheaded in Iran.
Oh, yeah, that was painful to watch.
I mean, we've got Court TV, we've got the National Geographic channel, and we've got the Execution channel.
It's not a deterrent.
Brought to you on DirecTV
That would
channel
just
501.
make us all very ill. That would just make us ill.
It'd be pay-per-view.
It would take the humanity out of us. It really would. It's bad enough that people are desensitized and do horrible things to each other on a regular. We really don't need an execution channel.
Okay. Every year, the Gallup poll takes a poll, okay, on the death penalty. Every single year. They've been doing this for years, okay?
Uh-huh.
October of this year, they took a poll. 61% of Americans across the country.
Come on, they didn't go across the country. I know they didn't go to Harlem.
Well,
they didn't ask me.
No, and they didn't ask me.
Okay.
And when
So
Obama
Gallup
was here
is
on
who?
Jay Leno, he didn't come to the Antelope Valley. We can't help that.
Yeah.
No, but 61% of Americans were for it. 35% were against it. And it's run almost like those numbers for the last 10 years. Okay.
The Gallup does nothing for me. It really doesn't, because statistics can be skewed based on whatever your argument is. We know that. We know that.
Okay.
So that does nothing for me.
One of their questions was
the statistics can be skewed in the opposed side as well as in the for side.
Right.
So
they even asked people, knowing that there's a margin of error, is the death penalty still okay? Is it okay with them? Again, people say, yes, we understand the margin of error. And yes, it is okay. And they went across the country. I'm sure they hit somebody from every state.
Yeah, I'm sure they hit somebody from every state.
And now they were all Republicans, right?
I don't know. I don't
Right?
know. I mean, I really don't know. And I'm not surprised that people are so desensitized that they don't care about their neighbor being put to death in error. I get that. I just happen to be a little bit more human than most, maybe. I don't know anybody. You know, I do know some people that have had horrific crimes dealt to their family, murders and things like that. But I just don't believe that the margin of error is acceptable, that one person is executed by mistake.
Okay.
Period.
Well, now, in California, our wonderful governor, Jerry Brown, when he was Attorney General just a year ago, he is the one who actually put a halt to executions in California.
Right. Good for him.
Because, and it had nothing to do with the margin of error, okay? And he's a Democrat. It had to do with the fact that we had a problem obtaining the correct drug. Okay? That's the only thing. And when we do obtain the correct drug, he's going to reinstate the death penalty.
Well, I mean, I think it has to be a little bit more than that, because how long has it been off the table?
A year.
Okay, come on. It doesn't take a year to get a new drug.
Well, this company never intended for this drug to be used to that purpose.
Good for
and
them.
So they're not
making
producing
it
like
good for them.
No, doesn't it come from like Sweden or Scandinavia or some?
Yeah.
Over there, or Bangkok, made from little puppies.
That's good. I mean, could you imagine working for the company that makes a drug to kill people? I mean, that's like sick.
Well, what do you
I'd be
mean?
in the promotions department.
That's like saying it's sick if you work for a gun manufacturer.
Don't start me.
Nope.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah, the people that get the guns.
Oh, they'd use a stick or a rock if they...
Well, use a stick or a rock. It gives me better odds. I mean, you don't have to use a gun.
Okay, death by stoning. We can institute that in California.
There you go.
You guys are just vengeful.
Death by baseball bat.
I mean, because you don't want to save the state of California any money, because clearly we've already established that it's cheaper to keep them. Cheaper to keep them. It's the same with marriage. Cheaper to keep her.
I'll agree with that one. I'll agree with that one.
Well, it looks like we got a break coming up.
Would have been a lot cheaper.
Oh. You're listening to avnewscast.com on News Talk 1380. We'll catch you back in just a minute.
News Talk 1380. AVNewscast.com comes to News Talk 1380. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning from 8 to 9, discover what's news in the Antelope Valley.
This isn't your grandpa's talk radio.
No, it's not. We're going to be live, edgy, and we're not going to pull any punches. Hi, this is Jeff Sheldon from AVNewscast.com. Join me and my co-host Steve Benson live on News Talk 1380 AM every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning from 8 to 9. We're taking all the technology from AVNewscast.com and bringing it to News Talk Radio 1380. You can catch us on the radio and watch our live video stream on your computer or smartphone. So call in and let's talk about what's affecting you in the Antelope Valley.
You take the family to the food court. Your wife and Pete head for tacos. You and Danny want Chinese. You look up at the menu. You look down to see what Danny wants. But you don't see Danny.
Danny!
Every parent knows that feeling. Imagine if he were actually abducted. To receive free Amber Alerts on your cell phone, go to wirelessamberalerts.org. A child is calling for help. Brought to you by the Wireless Foundation, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1380 has the best talk radio hosts in the business, Sean Hannity, Neil Bortz, and Mark Levin, and they're never short on opinions. News Talk 1380.
This just might be the biggest promise you've ever heard. For those of you who don't have a roof over your head,
who've lost your job, your family, your way.
Remember this, you can count on me.
And me.
And me. To always be there.
And that's a promise from all 100,000 of us at Volunteers of America.
Wherever we find those in need, we find a way to help.
See how we are helping in your community. Visit volunteersofamerica.org, a ministry of service for over 100 years.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Those words are just as true as they were back in 1961.
Carter Fleming, Community Center volunteer.
I am still trying to live up to that challenge, and with great privilege comes great responsibility.
Growing up in poverty taught me how to be determined, how to be goal-oriented. Ray Wright, youth mentor. I work with young people every day, and young people who have almost lost faith in the world surrounding them. I'm that ray of sunshine telling them we haven't been forsaken.
The giving spirit is as passionate in the boomers today as it was in our 20s, and we as a generation can still impact our country.
Lead, inspire, change the world again. Join thousands and find which volunteer opportunity is best for you. Call 1-800-424-8867 today or visit www.getinvolved.gov. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service and this station.
It's a medical breakthrough. Doctors are prescribing something new to help prevent cancer and improve survival rates. But you don't get it filled at the pharmacy. The answer is as close as your local supermarket. That's right. Research has shown that a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, beans, whole grains, and other high-fiber vegetarian foods protects against cancer and can even help survival rates. Side effects of a vegetarian diet include increased energy, lower cholesterol levels, and better overall health. And with the right recipes, a high-fiber vegetarian diet can be a delicious way to help shed those unwanted pounds. So, stock up today. For a free nutrition booklet filled with delicious cancer-fighting recipes, visit cancerproject.org or call 866-906-WELL. That's 866-906-WELL. This message brought to you by the Cancer Project, committed to preventing cancer and improving survival.
You know that the ice cream scoop has the power to make a child smile, and that by slowing us down, the traffic light can keep us going. You know that the golf tee brings friends together, that the mailbox keeps them connected, You know that the cataract laser helps you look to the future, while the pacemaker ensures that there's a future to be seen. You know that the lawnmower, the clothes dryer, and the elevator make life easier, that the blood bank makes life possible. You know that these things we count on every day started as ideas. But did you know all these ideas came from the minds of African Americans? Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Please visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
So here's my cell phone number, my husband's cell phone number, and here's the number to the grandparents. The number of the restaurant we'll be at, it's just down the block. And I told the neighbors you were here, so if anything happens, anything at all, don't hesitate to call. And what's your cell phone number again? I don't think I put that in.
Honey,
what?
Honey, he'll be fine. Okay, let's go.
I know you're right.
The odds of a babysitter calling 911? 1 in 1,400. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. You know the odds of autism. Now learn some of the signs. No big smiles or other joyful expressions by 6 months. No back and forth sharing of sounds or facial expressions by 9 months. And no babbling by 12 months. To learn more of the signs and more about autism, visit autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
If you're like me, you're looking for ways to save money on gas and help the environment. That's why you want to know about the EPA's smart driving tips. Tips that could give you more miles per gallon of gas and reduce air pollution. Like making sure your tires are properly inflated and replacing your air filter regularly. Where possible, accelerate and brake slowly. Slowly. And did you know that for every 5 miles you go over 65 miles per hour, it's like spending about 20 cents more per gallon of gas? Also, if you're shopping for a new car, look for the SmartWay certification mark to help you choose the cleanest, most efficient vehicle that meets your needs. If we each adopt just one of these tips, we'd get more miles for our money and breathe a little easier. For more tips and to compare cleaner, more efficient vehicles, visit epa.gov/smartway.
You take the family to the food court. Your wife and Pete head for tacos. You and Danny want Chinese. You look up at the menu. You look down to see what Danny wants. But you don't see Danny.
Danny!
Every parent knows that feeling. Imagine if he were actually abducted. To receive free Amber Alerts on your cell phone, go to wirelessamberAlerts.org. A child is calling for help. Brought to you by the Wireless Foundation, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1380 has the best talk radio hosts in the business. Sean Hannity, Neil Bortz, and Mark Levin. And they're never short on opinions. News Talk 1380.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Those words are just as true as they were back in 1961.
Carter Fleming, Community Center volunteer.
I am still trying to live up to that challenge, and with great privilege comes great responsibility.
Growing up in poverty taught me how to be determined, how to be goal-oriented.
Ray Wright, youth mentor.
I work with young people every day, and young people who have almost lost faith in the world surrounding them. I'm that ray of sunshine telling them we haven't been forsaken.
The giving spirit is as passionate in the boomers today as it was in our 20s, and we as a generation can still impact our country.
Lead, inspire, change the world again. Join thousands and find which volunteer opportunity is best for you. Call 1-800-424-8867 today or visit www.getinvolved.gov. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service and this station.
This week's episode, Fire at the Shed.
Gee, Johnny, this rope swing sure is swell. Don't I know it? Hey, it's Sassy. I think she's trying to tell us something. Mr. Gunderson? What about Mr. Gunderson? A fire? Mr. Gunderson's trapped? Where, Sassy, where? What, Sassy? Now that you've got our attention, you'd like to take a moment to talk about shelter pets? Shelter pets in general are well-adjusted, healthy, and love being with people? Sassy, we don't have time! Pets often end up in shelters due to owner problems like divorce or allergies? That's great, Sassy, but what about the fire? There is no fire? You're just messing with our heads?